Namaste. We shall today see about overcoming delusion. Moha means delusion or not seeing things as they are but imagining them to be different from what their nature is. All of us suffer from some delusion or another. Sometimes we think of a person who wants to harm us as our friend. Some people are addicted to substances thinking that it gives them happiness. But these bad habits give them even more sorrow in the long run. The causes of moha and means to overcome them. Wrong understanding, avidya, and love of life, abhinivesha, are two main factors that cause delusion and prompt a person to turn away from Ishvara. In Mahabharata, the Lord of Dharma, in the form of a divine being, asks Yudhishthira, "What is the greatest wonder in this world?" Yudhishthira replied, "Every day we see people die, and yet every person lives his life as if he will not die." What Yudhishthira meant was that we spend all our life pursuing and chasing trivial things, even though we do not bring anything with us and will not take anything with us when we die. Death is inevitable for our body, but the soul or Atma is immortal. But even then, we spend all our lives in pursuit of goals that serve only our body and not our Atma. The first cause of delusion is that we fail to distinguish between what is temporary, that is the body and all the other material objects, and what is permanent, the Atma and Ishvara, and as a result of which we spend most of our time pursuing temporary things instead of the permanent ones. We all love life and fear death, forgetting that death affects only our body, which is meant to be temporary garment of the real Atma. Due to this fear of death, we live perpetually in a state of denial and do not want to think about or plan for the journey of our soul after our physical death. One day, a man came to Swami Chinmayananda and prostrated in front of him to offer his respects. Swamiji immediately got up and prostrated at the man's feet. The man was aghast. "What are you doing, Swamiji? Please get up." Swami Chinmayananda asked, "If you do not like me bowing to you, then why did you prostrate in front of me?" The man replied, "I prostrated in front of you because you are a sannyasi, a renouncer who has renounced the world for the sake of God." Swamiji replied, "I bow before you because you are even a greater sannyasi. You have renounced God for the sake of the world." The second cause of delusion is mamatva or attachment. In Bhagavad Gita, King Dhritarashtra asks Sanjaya in the very first verse, gathered on the holy plain of Kurukshetra to fight each other, what did my sons and those of Pandu then do? The important point to note in this verse is that although Dhritarashtra had himself raised both his biological children as well as those of his dead brother Pandus, he treated only his biological children as mine and those of Pandu as others. After the war, when Krishna decided to return to Dwaraka, he chose to say very aptly these words to Yudhishthira: Mama, mine. These two syllables are the gateway to death. And Na Mama, not mine. These three syllables lead to the eternal Ishvara. Once, when Guru Nanak Dev Ji was passing through the city of Lahore, a rich Hindu trader named Dhunichan invited the saint for a meal in his palatial mansion. Dhunichan was very proud of his wealth. Even while the Guru ate his meal, Dhunichan kept describing to him how rich he was, how much wealth he possessed, and so on. After Guru Nanak had finished his meal, he gave a sieving needle to Dhunichan and said, "Please keep this needle safely and take it to heaven after your death. When we meet there, I would like to get it back from you." Dhunichan looked confused and he said, "But how can anyone take anything with us after we die?" Guru Nanak smiled and said, "Exactly. You cannot carry even a small needle with you after you die. Then, do you think you can carry all your wealth with you upon your death? If not, then what are you so proud of?" Dhunichan understood the message that one must not be proud of what we wear, what we eat, where we live. All our worldly possessions are left behind when we die. He now became a changed man, and he devoted his wealth for constructing community places for worship, on temples, feeding the hungry, etc. One should always remember the words of sage Asita Devala to Rishi Narada in Mahabharata. In reality, this soul does not belong to anyone, nor does anything belong to the soul. The soul is ever alone, but it starts considering the body in which it dwells as its own, and therefore experiences happiness and sorrows. By understanding this truth, we can overcome delusion. Namaste.